shit.
I have a thought, but I'll say.
You have a thought, but you'll save it?
Mm-hmm.
Saving thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
But we're on the air. Why would we save thoughts?
Hey!
Ha ha! Here we are. The worst was I put it up without, I forgot to put the card up first.
Yeah.
And so we were there. And then you said, well, I'm going to save a thought. And then we put the card up and we talked a little bit about what are you saving stuff for? And then I made the card disappear.
Okay.
Beep, bat, boop, beep,
I
bat.
see what you did there.
You see, I'm going to cover my mouth endlessly so that people just see I'm talking perfectly. Can you tell?
I'm gonna start talking like Jim Carrey and Steve Carell in Liar Liar. Is it Liar Liar? No, it's not Liar Liar. It's got Bruce Almighty. Where he's like babbling.
I know exactly what you mean, but the funny thing was the
I had to go
traveling
through
we
the
had to
Rolodex of
do to
movies
get there.
that I knew of. Yeah, I knew it was Steve Carell and Bruce and what's his name? Paranoia.
I don't know.
You almost did a mask thing with your face.
Good. Like mask, like which mask? You mean
Like Jim Carrey?
Oh, I thought you meant the movie where the kid's face is horribly disfigured with Cher. It's thinking, yeah, that's my look. That's my look right there. Yeah, no, you didn't
There
know
was
about
Leo under that mask.
No.
Right?
No, that was not Leonardo DiCaprio under that mask.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie with the twins, and one was a prince, and then the other one he put him in a cast.
That's a different mask movie. Different mask movie. That's the Man in the Iron Mask.
Man in the Iron Mask. Okay.
As opposed
Which
to...
Which mask movie were you talking about?
I'm talking about Mask.
Okay.
As opposed to The Mask.
Right, that's Jim Carrey.
As opposed to
Man in
the
the
Iron Mask.
Yeah.
Man in the Iron Mask is Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
It's what's his name?
Yeah.
Black fella. I want to say
Dumas,
but that's
Alexander
Dumas. There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Yes, thank you.
His dad was a musketeer. That's why I got over.
His dad was a musketeer.
Yeah, most of those stories are like adaptations.
So MICKEYMOUSE.
No. He fought for.
Oh, he was a musketeer, not a mouseketeer.
No, a musketeer.
We could go on. Justin Timberlake.
We could go on forever with word association. Every once in a while, we should do that. Just go on forever.
The Three Musketeers: Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and Shia LaBeouf. Oh, wait a minute. No, he would be the fourth. That would be when remember when they add what's his name when it becomes Four Musketeers?
D'Artagnan.
Right, they add D'Artagnan, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta have. Annette Funicello.
No, Andy Samberg.
Was Andy Samberg on Disney?
No, he wasn't.
No, that's my point. Now go get Shia LaBeouf.
Go get Shia LaBeouf.
Because he was on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
But Andy Samberg was... Well, no, we need...
So Britney Spears.
Justin Timberlake.
I
need a third...
I got one. Drake.
No, Drake's from... But he's not from Disney, is he?
No, he's not, but...
I need another Disney.
Okay, Disney. I'm trying to scan my brain for... They failed a lot.
Oh, no, what's her name with the hips that don't lie?
Shakira?
Oh, no, it wasn't her, it was the other one. It was Christina Aguilera.
Was she on Disney?
I believe so. So Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and Justin Timberlake are out during the French Revolution.
And Shia LaBeouf, too.
They have to meet Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf
they have to meet Shia LaBeouf.
He's like a mouseketeer from another from another channel. Anyways. We get paranoid before every show that it's all going to fall apart.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Every show. I want everybody, so there's a constant playing with the sound, there's a constant playing with the video, there's a constant...
Yeah.
And then there's me hitting the camera and having to reset it all. But...
Well, one thing that we go into is, I definitely think that a lot of times our anxiety can, very much play off of each other. And
God, yes.
Ping pong back and forth, and it turns into this little... frustrated, anxious ball of just uncomfortability,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The weird part is that usually once we get going.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
But there's a constant. Okay, so we're paranoid. So the difference between anxiety and paranoia in my head is we're paranoid about what we think other people are thinking. That we're paranoid about. That we're self-judging ourselves, but then projecting it on the world, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much.
constantly aware of.
If I had a nickel for every time that
There's
I
a microphone
told
in our face.
if I had a nickel for every time I told a girl, "Hey, you don't really like me," you know,
Right?
I could probably catch the bus.
I could probably catch the bus at least.
I could probably catch the bus.
Well, I'll catch kids. I'll catch kids doing that, going, "I know you're gonna say no,"
Right.
and now my response to
Right.
that is, "Okay, no."
Okay.
We can
Really?
we can skip you telling me. You already know the answer is no.
Right.
Well, then don't start that way.
Well, then don't start like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming you know the rules, and if you're starting with "I know the answer is no," you know the rules,
Right.
and
Well, the thing is,
why do I need to be involved in this
I think that
conversation?
I think that there's so much pressure around hearing what you don't like that you often assume that you're going to hear what you don't like.
So, is that anxiety and that paranoia just as much? Do you follow that fear? It is constant. It's that we all share, but it's not real, and it's the same on both sides of it. Whether
Well,
you're
the thing about it is it feels real.
right,
It's very real. Like you
well,
can
we,
you
well, we,
can.
be, we become so attached to not only
Mhm.
our vision of success, but our vision of failure.
Right.
That these are both, you're making up a thing.
Yes.
You're creating something that
You're
doesn't even
literally
exist.
creating problems that become problems.
Well, and what I was noticing as we were having the conversation is it's the same whether you're fantasizing or catastrophizing. We've had this conversation
Yeah.
before. That in my head, fantasizing is just catastrophizing with extra steps.
I've heard this a couple times.
Couple times. But the idea is that the more you try to predict it, good or bad,
Right.
whether you're dealing with anxiety now or anxiety later or downfall later.
Well, you build up a good expectation and the floor is ripped out from under you when reality happens, or you build up a bad expectation and you're completely stupefied when something good happens.
Well, or nothing good happens because you stopped yourself.
Because you stopped yourself.
You held yourself back.
Right.
So,
right.
that you have to accept that if you're going this way, one of the options is things can go wrong.
Right.
But so
you also, I think it's easier.
This
to
one,
accept,
go with it.
It's easier to accept that things can go wrong than to accept that things can
might
go
right.
Yeah, it's easier to accept that.
You remember my argument with people that would say they were really depressed if they were playing the lottery. This is a fun one. So if you're playing the lottery, as much as you believe you have no hope, I believe you have to have some belief somewhere in you that one of the possibilities is, well, that tomorrow could be a better day. You've defined, don't get me wrong, you've defined it around a lottery ticket, but you've held on to a piece that says one of the options. And so for me, I think the thing that helps overcome the anxiety, the paranoia about other people, is you can't have that expectation that even that I'm going to put something out, other people are going to organically take it in as they take it in. I don't have any control over that.
Right.
And that it's very much on that same. I always see like wisdom as organic. That you can't, like, everybody's, oh, it came from here, or it came from there, or it came from this. But even if you define this as a source, there's somewhere back here where those people got it.
Right.
So defining something as coming from one place is like an act of denial almost.
Well, I changed the way that I thought about like stuff sometimes. Like sometimes what I used to do is I used to think like, oh, this thought came from here, or oh, I remember this experience, so that's why I do this, and blah 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 blah. But what I realized is I should just be grateful that I learned the lesson, as opposed to trying to figure out where things came from and what exactly happened that led to what. It doesn't matter.
Well, people become so attached to that. Well, but I learned everything in college. Or, well, but I read all the Sanskrit, Buddhist teachings. Or, oh, yes, but I've studied the Bible my entire life. Or, yes, I've studied the Talmud.
Right.
Or, the Quran. Or, So you're mistaken. I have all the
Well, the
answers.
problem is that once you think that you got it from this specific place, you start to think that you can't get it from.
Well,
At least
I think
that's what I
some
think.
people
You
do.
know, some
Well, no, I think that's a
it's easier
reality.
to draw that conclusion, I guess.
It makes Does it make it easier to build a foundation on then? Is it that if you can take one book and go, yep, here it all is,
Hmm.
you get to stop thinking?
Yeah, and it doesn't do life justice because you have to keep thinking.
Well, my argument is all of those books that, in the end, as much as you can study, it's uh, in the experience that you truly come into contact with the idea that all of them teach compassion.
Well, my thought is I'd rather hear about your book than like from you than.
Then have to read it. Listen, he's like, I don't like to read books.
No,
That's what that
seriously,
was. I'm telling you,
seriously.
folks.
Like I used
As much as I'm trying to buy into this, I'm telling you, this man over here is just going, no, I'm lazy.
to.
Please, if you'll tell me about,
I used.
can I get a short synopsis? No, cliff notes are too long. If you could just. So Muhammad showed up. Mountain didn't come to him.
I'll
He
be
went
honest.
to the mountain.
When I went to New York, it was the first time that I had experienced other religions, with the exception of like I knew some Muslims and stuff like that, and I knew some Christians, obviously, but like I didn't know any Jewish people. I didn't know any Hindus. I didn't know anybody from different religions other than Christianity and Islam.
I'm gonna
So what I
go
would
ahead.
do is I'd walk up to people and I'd just be like, "Hey, like what do you know about life and shit? Like
What do you believe?
what do you believe? What's your thought process on life and stuff like that?" I'd ask specific questions, or like it'd be wherever the conversation would go, right? And I would have more fun doing that than I would just reading a book. I don't know, like I'm sorry, I just as much as I would love to sit down and say
Do
that
you
I like to read books, man.
do you see what we're trying to
I
overcome with
can't.
this generation? If all you're going to do is tell them they need to go read a book, I'm telling you, we're not going to get
Listen,
anywhere with this.
listen.
This is why I'm coming at this from a different
You
direction.
need to read this book. I'm like,
Yeah, see,
do I
see,
though? Do I really though? Or can I just get the Cliff Notes version from you?
no.
I don't.
But then you're missing the
I
experience.
guess yes. That's true. That's true.
You know what? In the end, I mean, and don't. I'm not a huge. Yeah, okay, yeah, I've read Bible, old and new, front to back, but I was in school and it was required. You know what? I've read a lot more Zen stuff than I have Buddhist scripture.
Hmm.
I've accepted it more as a psychology and less as a faith. That doesn't mean I'm downing Buddhism as a faith, but I see it more as a way to look at the world. So, yeah, it's like Shakespeare is Victorian rap
I don't.
or Renaissance. Well, no, follow me here for a second.
Shakespeare is Victorian.
Well,
That's
the point being, yes, like for instance, I'm thinking of the Pali Canon right now, so I'm thinking of Buddhist scripture. It's all written in a very poetic style,
hmm
partially because that's easier to remember if it's spoken as opposed to written, which was a reality for a while. But that, so I kind of, you have to accept the way it's the medium, if you will, that it's related in.
right.
But a
Right.
lot of it is like, nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Like the last time I read the Bible, I I had to stop because there was so many things that I was like refuting in my head that I
Right.
was like, I can't keep reading.
Well,
As much as I know that there's wisdom to be gained.
but it causes anxiety. There's all kinds of rules.
Yeah.
Do you know that you're not supposed to wear wool and cotton together or you're going to hell?
Yeah, you're also not supposed to shave your head or get tattoos or I think no, I don't think drinking is against.
I'm not wearing any wool today. I think I'm
I'm
okay.
not sure. I think this is
But no, I've probably
polyester.
got nylon and poly. You're not supposed
You
to
know,
mix. You're not supposed to mix. You're not supposed to mix.
I'm not a good Christian. Smack me on the hand. I don't.
No, that's not Christian.
You know.
Well, it's about that's Old Testament.
Well, I'm not. Well,
And here's the point. The funny thing is, the Old Testament, according to the teachings of Christ, wasn't the where you were going to.
well, I've reached a net negative with God.
Net negative. Okay.
Not net negative. Net neutral, I guess. It's like
So
I if you've ever like paid attention in math class. I don't know. That was actually really condescending. Okay. Anyways, um, I was in math class and I realized that this is the way that I feel about God. It's basically plus or minus. The world without God makes sense to me. The world with God makes sense to me. So in my head,
You're agnostic.
it doesn't matter.
It's called agnostic.
Yes.
I don't know.
Eh, doesn't matter.
See, for me, it's
Doesn't affect my life. I don't think it affects my life to believe or not believe in my head.
I can understand that, and I get lumped in with you because I'm not willing to admit to anything. I'm not Buddhist enough.
Right.
That you know what, I try, but in the
Right.
end, that I honestly think that I am what I am,
Right.
and that's all what I am.
I am whatever you say I am, and if I
No,
wasn't,
that's
then why would I
Popeye.
say I am? No, that's
No, Popeye's
Eminem.
no Popeye's. I am what I am. That's all what I am.
Really?
Yeah, that's not Eminem. That's
No, I was saying Eminem because that's what I.
See,
Again, word
this,
association.
this is
but
why,
anyway, I
this
think
is why no books. But we're trying to
I
get away
think
from the God thing.
the
We're not
thing is-
trying to
the
lose
thing
it on
is,
God.
I think that so many people get so paranoid. I see what I did here. Anyway,
Right?
I think so many people get so paranoid about having to have the.
Mm-hmm.
So they attach so much expectation to the answer.
Well, so
They build up so much on having the answer.
well, there's no way to find. You're not going to get any more information. You've already decided you know it all.
Exactly.
That once you define it as, well, this is the only place information can come from, and it's a very limited thing, and then there's other people who organically get to say crazy stuff about
Right.
it. That, and that's why I don't find myself attached to one faith more than another. Maybe that's a better way to describe it.
Mhm.
But that I think, yes, people are paranoid that what if I die and I got it wrong? You know, I better pick a horse here.
My
'Cause
opinion's always been I'll live with it. You know, if I gotta burn in hell for not believing in something that I had a hard time believing in,
I don't care. I don't know what comes after we die, so I don't worry. That's why I don't worry about that. I'm like, I can't talk about it. How would I talk about something I don't know about?
Right.
I don't talk about before or after. I never. I don't get lost in that.
Also, like I've noticed something. So you know how when people die, they all talk about going through the same experience and stuff like that.
I mean, the part where the
Yeah,
last
it's really just your
Okay.
neurons firing. Okay, yeah, we get that.
or whatever, but go on. We're not going to judge.
It's
We don't
just
know. No,
interesting.
we don't
It's
know.
just interesting.
They may be seeing something. We
Right.
don't know.
Seriously, they may be seeing what really is comes
We don't
after.
know.
But I just always found it interesting that no one ever like had a terrifying experience where they saw Satan and stuff. I
think there are people that have had bad experiences.
bad near death experiences.
Sure.
I've
If you
heard.
can have a bad trip, you got to have a bad near death experience. I mean, I got to believe.
But then again, that could just be your neurons, you know. I don't know.
The reality is, you don't start decomposing right away. Boring. I mean, I don't. Okay, so here's my point of view. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to define that because in my head, trying to explore stuff that there is so much more relevant to our experience that we are ignoring. That the idea that what we're worried about, what we have anxiety and paranoia about, and this is the big scam here,
Right.
is the after that we can't even see.
I will say though, 100%, if 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 you have more anxiety and paranoia about the idea of there not being an after, like if you have, okay,
Well, no, my point. Okay, my point is the paranoia is about whether or not you get it right.
right,
Then you have these set of rules, and you should follow a set of rules. I don't mean that like you shouldn't
Right.
be good to people. I mean, I think be compassionate to all living things kind of covers it.
I
Personally,
only mean that like if okay, if your life's path is to follow God and to like search for that and understand that, and you pick a certain religion and that's your way of trying to understand it and trying to seek wisdom, then that's okay. You know, like do you like in my opinion, I feel like it's better to get away from uncertainty.
right.
And whatever you have to do to find that,
But okay, so here's what
do that. I
all
guess.
that
I don't know.
all that exists is uncertainty.
That's true.
It's not that you have to get away from uncertainty. To some extent, you have to accept it. that uncertainty is the reality. You can only do you. Predicting the rest of it is what constantly tears you down. That you get lost in the uncertainty of what you're attached to what's going to happen next. That's all that uncertainty is.
Right.
Uncertainty is the what'll happen. It's literally, I'm not certain.
Right.
But you shouldn't be certain. How can you be certain?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's catastrophizing and fantasizing again. It's desperate to be certain. Now, I think stable. I think being able to work from a place where you're not expecting it to all fall out from underneath you regularly can help.
Right.
But you really have none of that's permanent either.
Well, my thought is if a certain set of beliefs will bring you peace.
Oh,
Perfectly
absolutely.
okay with believing whatever you want to believe.
Well, I've always thought that. So there are all these different ideas and ways of describing this thing. Whatever rings true with you must kind of resonate with your path versus my path versus the next path.
Right.
I find in general that it's a little bit of all of it that makes sense to me. And that I have always seen the corollaries between. That as you looked across, we were all in agreement. You know, universal field theory.
Well,
even the physicists are on board.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that equal and opposite reaction. Karma? Hello?
Right.
Yeah, I think regularly
Mm-hmm.
that we are at a point where what we need to do is tear down the walls.
What wall?
The walls between the different faiths. So that, sure, in your church, your temple, wherever, but we need a coming together of this universal truth. I mean, we talk about meditation in the Buddhist tradition, but, and I've brought it up before, I mean, look at the Muslim tradition, the tradition of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a level of prayer I wish I had gotten to.
What is it? Is it like five?
I think it's 5 times. No, I think it's 5 times a day.
5 times a day.
I believe it's 5 times a day.
I
That the dedication. I know amazing Christians, and I worry constantly that they get all lumped together as Christians, which you should think about when you start thinking about the Muslims or the Buddhists or the Hebrews.
Anytime someone says anything, and it's followed by a group of people, you should be wary of what they're going to say next.
Right?
But
because it becomes defining.
Yes.
It creates additional anxiety. Now they're part of this group. I'm not part of that group. They're part of this
the
group.
chosen people.
There's, I
what
will.
does that say about the other people?
Can I say something about the debate regarding chosen people? First off, Mormons. I don't know if you know this. Only 144,000 of you are getting it. What he said. Sorry. Don't blame me.
Only 144,000.
That's 144,000. That's how many Mormons get to go to heaven. To jail.
Wow.
I didn't mean jail. But
that's written down? Like that's
yeah. Joseph Smith said that.
Okay.
There weren't as many people out west when he did it.
Right.
And never write numbers down. That's the first thing. Hey, if you're starting your own faith,
don't write a number down.
If there's an L. Ron Hubbard out there amongst you and you need some help,
right?
You need to be kind of vague.
You gotta say vague stuff so that people.
Things need to come from the heavens. You can choose between aliens and angels. That's a common.
Aliens and angels.
Depending. If you go back a ways, you're allowed to have chariots pull the sun. Curses are good. Those have been around for a minute.
Yeah.
A lot of faiths have some good curses. Yeah. I spit on you, that kind of thing. But there's a unifying thing. Mm-hmm. That if we could talk about it over here. That I'm telling you that even the most zealous of any faith you pick mm-hmm. thinks that their primary motivator is, what can I do to save the world? Yep. Nope. I'm telling you.
I don't think that it is. I think everyone's...
No. Wait a minute. God hates fags. They're trying... And I hate those people. But anyways, they believe that what they're doing is trying to fix the world. ISIS, they believe what they're trying to do is fix the world. Putin, he believes what he's doing is trying to fix Russia. That I'm telling you how people work here, man. I'm not that. That's the messed up part. We are so good at convincing ourselves of our own perspective. All illusion.
I think we're really good at convincing ourselves when paranoid, whatever word you want to use. I think we're really good at convincing ourselves that there is something other than what we are that is not good that we need to get away from.
Well, we define people as other. We define knowledge as other. We are in, in a poll of all the species in the universe.
I'll even no,
I don't even have it anymore. It's gone.
The stupid thing I was saying earlier about the books and stuff, even that's me being scared of just opening a book and just learning new things. That's even me being scared. I'm scared of stuff too. I'm paranoid about everything.
Mm-hmm. We all are.
Yeah.
Fear is the prime motivator. Yeah. Fear of revealing who you are, fear of being judged, fear of not being liked, fear of being liked, fear of...
Yeah, that one's a confusing one.
But it happens.
But it happens, yeah.
Fear is where it all comes from.
Yep.
We all have anxiety over whether or not we're okay to even exist.
How do you think you solve fear? How do you think you get away from it?
I'm trying to get there.
Me too.
No,
Me too.
I mean, I was trying to explain.
Got you.
It's the attachment. You're still, all of those are ways you've predicted how you're going to feel that have nothing to do with reality. They're a supposition because you believe you already know it. The anxiety, the fear is based on we're sure we know. That we know that's bad, we're good, that we know. We're constantly sure we know. Our cup overfloweth with knowledge, which means there's no room to put anything good in. No room to, so you have to kind of,
no room to grow.
How do you get rid of fear? You realize that it doesn't exist anywhere in the world. It's not real, it's in your head. Don't get me wrong, it's in all our heads. But it's not so,
it's
you can't.
It's real, but it's not real. I get what
you can't reach out and touch it.
Yes.
It's yet another illusion projected. Not to say there aren't things you should be afraid of. I don't mean like, we're really talking more anxiety and paranoia today.
Yeah.
Fear crosses into a line of somebody has a gun, you're supposed to be afraid. That's a totally different thing.
Right.
That's why we went with paranoia and kind of anxiety. That unreasonable fear. Mm-hmm. That fear that comes from your mind twisting on itself, self-judging, judging others, creating other when there is no other. Those are people just like you. Every one of them. Even the groups where you're like, well, no, I don't think they feel. Yeah, they do. They think they're doing what's best. Crazy.
True.
They feel justified in what they are doing. Whether it be justified because they feel like everybody else is doing it, and if they don't, it's going to be taken from them.
Yeah.
But they still feel like, okay, I have to do what I'm doing. The worst people you know, I have to do what I'm doing. There's a reason. So when I see the insanity, what I see is, oh wow, look at all that suffering. It's all suffering. It both sides of the equation. That whether you look at a sad, pathetic man like Vladimir Putin, who obviously doesn't have enough testosterone to get him through the day anymore. How else do you explain, oh, I have to desperately share pictures of me with my shirt off on a horse? I mean, if I've ever seen anybody with teeny pee-pee energy, I mean, come on. That it's his very sad, very fear-based, paranoid outlook that is from all his suffering, being held down by everybody that was more powerful than him, never having any true power, had to rule with fear, never really been a true man. You can see that in the need to constantly act like a heathen.
I'm glad there's no dislike button.
No, I don't
We
think
have
it.
some. We have some Russian bots.
I'm willing to have Russian bots. I talked to a Russian bot just the other day. My good friend from Russia, who I care dearly about, there is no doubt in my mind my last two conversations were not with her. That I crossed a line and suggested I was willing to share art by a number of Russian artists if they were in contact.
Right.
Because my point was that people on both sides of this are real people, and that I care deeply about the Russian people. I mean, the fact that their leader has erectile dysfunction and commonly has sex with chickens.
What?
Vladimir Putin is. You haven't heard that?
What?
Farm animals all the time.
What are you talking about?
Hey, if we're gonna do disinformation, Vlad, I can say whatever I want if you're gonna say whatever you want. Sorry.
Okay. What is this? What is? What
Oh yeah. I don't know. Why am I after Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm Putin on the Ritz. Okay.
Where did you hear this chicken story? I need context.
I don't have to give any context. I'm just trying to help out chickens that don't want to be Russian anymore. You know, we're just here. No. I'm just crossing the border into Russia to free the chickens from Vladimir Putin.
It can't be a Russian chicken.
Well, no. I mean,
you're either a chicken or a chicken.
I mean, Vladimir Putin is. Well, no. He could be a. I'm assuming he's having sex with chickens from Russia. I'm suggesting that we should all cross the border into Russia to free the chickens that are being abused.
Why the chickens?
I don't know. Why Ukrainians? I'm so wrong.
I don't even know anymore.
So now that I've increased Ross's paranoia, he's going to spend the day looking over his shoulder just so everybody knows.
Yeah, definitely. If I don't show up tomorrow.
So, but my point was that even when I see, so I was going through the suffering that creates somebody like Vladimir Putin. That when I see what's going on, I see his suffering from having a small pee-pee his entire life. I see how much he hurts from having sex with chickens. But you have to understand that I understand his struggle. I see his pain. It doesn't, in my eyes, make him less of a man. I can tell it makes him feel that way, that he feels barely a man, just by how bad he has to push how manly he is. A true man doesn't have to walk around going, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man.
Oh.
He's under constant fear and paranoia that we'll find out he's... Okay, let's be honest. We all know Vladimir Putin wears dresses.
Why do I now feel like I have to defend Vladimir Putin?
Isn't it funny?
What the...
Why?
Why
don't we
Why do I feel this?
I have a question. Why don't we just stick with defending Ukraine?
I don't think he... Oh, okay.
That in the end, you're right.
Yeah.
People making insane accusations about what's going on across somebody else's borders so they can come up with ridiculous reasons to invade a country is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Chickens or not. You didn't even see where I was going.
I didn't see where you were going.
It's his own paranoia that even causes... Oh my God, people are going to get me. It's like watching the worst case of anxiety on the planet. Except for Ping, he's worse.
His reasoning that they wanted to separate or something. They wanted to secede from...
So, as opposed to chickens.
Which was he was fueling...
No, he claimed there were Nazis in Ukraine.
Really?
Under the Jewish president in Ukraine. And that he was going to save the Jewish people in Ukraine. Yes, Zelensky's Jewish. Yeah. So it made it even more ridiculous as he was like, I'm going to go get them Nazis in the Ukraine. Well, I'm going to go get them chicken fuckers in Russia then. Now do you follow me? Now do you follow me, though? But paranoid behavior. Yes, people. We are all just people. Oh, see, mine does something crazy when I don't even know. I don't. Oh, man, I could... God, Jesus. My point is, literally what we're watching on a global scale is paranoia and anxiety acted out by world leaders.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I was making fun of Vladimir Putin and his small pee-pee. And I'm not saying that's right. I, if I didn't bring up Emperor Ping and his small PP, but constant paranoia.
Everybody has a small peep.
No. But the point is,
No comment.
but my point is, that's if you follow the catastrophizing and the fantasizing and you put it on the global level, this is something we know doesn't work. This is where we know conflict happens. This is where we know suffering happens. Amazingly enough, predictable as it may be, when you have paranoid people in power, orange or not, you end up with a problem. Because they are projecting all of their fears onto everybody. Whether it's, well, I know everybody's trying to screw me over because I try to screw everybody over. Sound orange enough for you? Or whether it's Vladimir Putin literally hiding in a bunker now.
Is he?
Fuck yeah. Oh. He moved him and his whole family. Because, so you say you want a revolution, well, you know.
Is that Lenin?
It's the Beatles. Revolution 9. Revolution 9.
Don't know who
Revolution 9.
They
Revolution 9.
were known for that.
But, and it got used in a bunch of Nike ads, let's be honest. We all know why we know that song.
Really?
Nike paid, oh my God. I think it was Nike. Either Nike or Apple. Somebody paid for it.
Someone who doesn't actually want revolution.
Well, no, they like to think they are the revolution. Everybody thinks they're the revolution.
No, they're not.
You're just stacking the Legos different. But, said, how do we overcome the paranoia? Mm-hmm. How do we overcome the anxiety? Be present. None of that's about right here. That's always about over there. That's not to say you're not thinking about stuff. I don't mean it like that. But if more people were present having real conversations instead of spouting whatever they want, we would get somewhere. This constant, oh, I've got to bolster myself up and push against the other guy, is the entire basis for our species currently, and we have to get past it. How much can I take from everybody else? That's literally our metric for success. We can argue about it all day, but it's true no matter what country you go to, no matter what kind of system they claim they're using. Okay? That communist China, Ping, has everything he wants. People on the bottom don't. Vladimir Putin takes whatever he wants. The United States is known for, globally, this is the outlook people have. Oh, the United States will just come in and take what they want. They stand up for what they want, and you better believe they'll be there if there's oil. It's become the new joke about Ukraine. There's oil in Ukraine. You know, you go, hey, United States, will you help us? We've got oil. Yep. Money, money, money. Follow it, follow it, follow it.
We have a habit of doing the opposite. Russia does it. War crime.
Well,
it's terrible on both sides, in my opinion.
Now, I will say this. The comparison, because that's a comparison that's been made often. Mm-hmm. A valid one. That, no, Putin literally, there's a big difference between Iraq and Ukraine. That our goals were very different, I think. So maybe I'm blind. That, wow, you know what? I find our leadership to be just as paranoid. That I think...
That was my thought process.
That I think our actions... Would you go let the cat upstairs? Yeah, The cat has announced that he needs to go upstairs. This is an emergency. But hey, his name's Suge Knight. He might, trust me, he'll take Ross out. That none of us are very different. but our leadership is out of control. And by leadership, I just don't mean elected leadership. I mean the fact that we have built a system based on how bad can we be to each other. And then we don't understand why this is where we've ended up. We don't understand that we react to symptoms, but not the real problem. We're endlessly pointing out things we want to change. And then whenever I follow them back, I go, oh, I see what happened here.
Right.
There's somebody at the beginning trying to figure out how much can they take for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were talking to a good friend about like insulin the other day and what insulin costs. That's literally, hey, I've got a gun to your head. I want your money.
I'll be honest.
Or you die.
I'm much more scared of diabetes now because he told me how much insulin costs.
It's crazy.
Because that stuff runs through my family, and I used to be a sugar.
Oh, stop with the. Yeah, no, he's all about how as a kid he ate spoons of sugar. Everybody, yeah, lots of sugar. That won't have an effect. It's what you're doing now that'll have an effect. It's whether or not you're eating healthy in your adult life.
I'm aware.
So, but something tells me if it happens, you're going to blame that. I'm going to be like, no.
I'm not going to blame that.
I'm going to be like, no, it had nothing to do with that.
I'm not going to blame that. I'm blame how
but it's made you a little bit of paranoid. You carry that around as a little bit of paranoia based on something a decade ago. Yeah?
Yeah. I have a sweet tooth when I stay away from sugar, I'm really able to stay away from sugar, like when I don't think about it or get away from it. But when I start eating sugar again, I start craving it and I start wanting it more.
Does it affect you living in my world? Do you eat less sugar because they're just, I mean, those of you that don't know, I don't eat meat, I don't eat cheese, I don't eat sugar.
I think so.
I don't eat it. Basically vegan, I don't do wheat.
Well, in addition to the stupid stuff I would do with sugar, my grandmother used to buy me like the what do you call it? Those big Rice Krispie cases. Used to buy me those like almost every 2 weeks.
They don't even last you 2 weeks. I've seen you go through them. That you should be paranoid about. That's the paranoia.
They're amazing though. They're so good.
They're so much better if you just make them, and it costs so much less. It irritates me every time I see that box. I just want to smack people upside their head and go, this is literally the easiest treat on the face of the planet to make. Why are you throwing away your money? That's what I think every time I see this. Because I'm like, I feel that way about chocolate chip cookies. I feel that way about cookies in general. Cookies were so much better when it was special and sometimes somebody baked them. I'm telling you. Thank you, Mom, for baking cookies. Orange rolls. I'm telling you, we've totally defeated living with everything packaged now. We've taken some of the best parts of life away. The smelling the kitchen. The way things, no, I'm telling you, we're doing it all wrong.
I grew up on
I don't know that though.
I grew up on packaged or bought and paid for, which was like someone else made it, or it was bought at the store.
Poison, I say.
Poison?
No, I had this big epiphany where I realized, like, dude, read the back of some of those packages. If you can't say it, why are you putting it in your body?
No, they put stupid names for.
No, don't buy. No, they add. They literally stop. Stop. It's chemicals, dude. Everybody knows it. We all know it. Don't come up with some. Come on, brah. Yes, there are some interesting names. Like they come up with 5 different names for sugar, so it doesn't add up all the same. But okay. No, those ones over there that say flavor number this and color number that, and the ones that are in a language you don't recognize, those are the chemicals they added.
I don't think you should just assume things are bad for you. I think you
should. Prepackaged, bad for you.
I think
fresh,
you look into
good for you. I have. Go do it. Cool. I'm looking forward to you coming back. You will have this research tomorrow, right?
Oh, I'm not going to because I don't care what I put in my body. I could die at 45 for all I care. I don't care.
Oh, stop it. We love you all, and nobody's dying at 45. Please don't be paranoid about that. I'm already over 45.
You eat healthy, though, so...
that was my argument the other day.
You don't have to worry about it.
Someone had brought up that I really need to go to the doctors, and we have a specific person we were thinking about, and I said, but I eat so much better. That won't happen to me.
You eat relatively healthy.
Relatively healthy. It's all relative. All things are relative. It's true.
That's true.
Einstein,
Yeah,
man. Don't be
yeah.
paranoid about that. If we take your mass and turn it into energy, it's really a huge explosion. It's kind of cool. The hard part is getting you to nuclear up. We are not nuclearing any.
Nuclearing?
There will
Nuclearing?
be no clearing of anyone today. Good shot.
Sorry I interrupted your thought.
I don't remember what it was either. It was like I had this thought.
I
I was
know you.
having
I
a
knew
real
you had a
problem with
good
it today.
thought
No,
as
I was
soon as I
having.
interrupted. I was like,
It was that I was having trouble keeping. Sometimes I have trouble keeping a hold of stuff. I don't have weed in me. Problem is too much weed and everything goes, and then not enough weed, everything goes.
"Damn."